Be me, Alex, 28, back-end engineer at a mid-sized tech company. Been here 4 years, keep my head down, write clean code, go home. Life's pretty straightforward until we get a new HR manager 6 months ago. Rachel, 31, always carrying a canvas tote with slogans like "The future is female" and "Nevertheless, she persisted." She's nice enough, but she's got that energy, you know? The kind where every conversation somehow becomes about systemic issues. Monday morning, I'm grabbing coffee when my phone buzzes company-wide email from Rachel. Subject line, important, new respectful communication policy, mandatory training this week. I open it standing by the Keurig. The email's long, but the highlights hit like a brick. Recent feedback indicates women's voices are not being heard in meetings. Male colleagues must be mindful of speaking time and interruption patterns. Men should count to 5 before responding to allow women to contribute. If a woman is speaking, do not interject with solutions or corrections. I read it twice. Then a third time. Jake walks up. He's 30, senior developer, been here longer than me. He's reading the same email on his phone. You seeing this? He mutters. Yeah. Count to 5. He looks up. Like we're in kindergarten. Marcus joins us, 27 front-end guy. Did Rachel seriously just tell us to shut up in meetings? We stand there in silence. Devon, our systems engineer, walks over. Group therapy session by the coffee maker? Reading the new policy, I say. Devon skims his phone. Oh, perfect. I've always wanted to be micromanaged based on my gender. Lunchtime, the 4 of us grab sandwiches and sit outside, nobody saying much, just chewing and thinking. Finally, Jake sets down his sandwich. What if we just follow it exactly? We all look at him. Like, exactly, he continues. She wants us to step back. We step all the way back. Marcus grins slowly. Malicious compliance? Not malicious, Jake says. Just compliance. She wrote the policy. We follow the policy. I think about it. Could backfire on us. How? Devon asks. We're following HR guidelines to the letter. What are they going to do? Write us up for being too respectful. He's got a point. I'm in, I say. The mandatory training happens Wednesday, whole company crammed into the main conference room. Rachel's got a PowerPoint ready, standing up front looking confident. Slide 1, creating an inclusive communication environment. Slide 2, recognizing masculine communication patterns. She lists things like interrupting, providing unsolicited solutions, dominating airtime. Slide 5 literally has the word mansplaining on it 8 times. Marcus is counting on his phone, shows me the tally, she plays a video. It's examples of interruptions, mostly just looks like normal conversations to me. 2 people talking, one jumps in with a related point. Apparently that's a microaggression now. Then comes the slide that seals it, new meeting guidelines for male employees. Wait 5 seconds before speaking. Limit responses to 2 minutes. Ask yourself, does this need to be said by me? Amplify women's ideas instead of adding your own. Rachel walks us through each point. It's about being intentional with your communication, making space, being mindful. At the end, we all sign acknowledgement forms confirming we attended and understood the policy. Jake catches my eye as we file out. We're really doing this. Jake creates a signal group that night, calls it Compliance Crew. It's me, him, Marcus, Devon, plus 2 other guys, Tom from sales and Andrew from product management. First message from Jake. Gentlemen, we follow the policy. To the letter. Document everything. Marcus. Rules, I type out 1. Only speak when directly called on. 2. Maximum 2 sentences per response. 3. Never volunteer information. 4. All decisions via email with timestamps. 5. If a woman is speaking, count to 10 before responding. 6. End every statement with, does anyone else want to add something? Then stop talking. Devon. This is beautiful. Tom, sales team is so ready for this. Andrew, I'm going to defer to people so hard. Monday morning, week 1 of the new policy. Sprint planning meeting. Rachel's running it. Okay, team, let's talk Q3 roadmap. Thoughts on priorities? Silence. She waits. Anyone? Marcus raises his hand. Literally raises his hand like we're in 3rd grade. Rachel blinks. Yes, Marcus. I think Sarah's point about mobile first was good. He stops talking. Just stops. Doesn't elaborate. Doesn't explain. Doesn't add context. Rachel waits for more. Nothing comes. Okay, anything else? Marcus. Does anyone else want to add something? Then silence. Sarah looks confused. I think we should prioritize the iOS bugs first? Agreed, says Jen, the PM. They look at us. We're just sitting there, hands folded, pleasant expressions. Rachel moves on, visibly uncertain. Later that meeting, she asks me about database architecture for the new feature. It works, I say. 4-second pause where I look at my watch, happy to answer specific questions. What does it works mean, Alex? The architecture is functional and scalable. I stop talking. But can you explain the approach? I can. Pause. Would you like me to? She stares at me. Yes, obviously. We are using PostgreSQL with Redis catching handles the load. Stop talking. It goes on like this. Every answer is minimal. Every response is basically a dead end. Jake masters the art of I'll defer to female colleague for literally everything. Week 2, things get interesting. Product planning meeting. 45 minutes scheduled to finalize feature specs. Rachel and Jen spend 15 minutes debating approach. They talk over each other 3 times. Neither one yields. Finally, Rachel asks, Alex, what do you think? Both approaches have merit. I look at my phone, count to 10 visibly, but which should we use? I'm comfortable with either. Stop talking. She's getting frustrated. We need to make a decision. Jake jumps in. I want to amplify what Jen said about user experience. Then he stops talking too. The meeting ends. No decision made. Nothing resolved. Our inboxes become novels. Every single tiny decision gets a full email chain with everyone CC'd. Marcus sends. Hi Rachel. Per your question in today's stand-up about the login button color, I want to be thoughtful about not dominating this decision. I'll defer to Sarah and Jen's expertise on UX. Please let me know what you both decide and I'll implement it. Rachel replies, Marcus, I just need to know if it's technically possible to make it blue. Marcus, yes, it's possible. Happy to implement whatever the team decides. She stops responding to him after that. 2-week mark, Rachel calls an impromptu meeting with the dev team. She's visibly annoyed. I'm noticing you guys aren't really participating in discussions. Jake, we're following the communication policy. We don't want to interrupt or dominate. That's not what I meant. You can still contribute ideas. Marcus, the policy says to ask ourselves, does this need to be said by me? We're being thoughtful about that. But you're engineers. We need your technical input. Me, we're happy to answer specific questions. We just want to make space for others. Devon adds, we don't want any HR complaints about our communication style. Rachel stares at us. We stare back with pleasant cooperative expressions. She dismisses us without another word. We walk back to our desks in silence. Professional compliant. Lunch hour, the 4 of us plus Tom and Andrew grab a table outside. She literally couldn't articulate what we're doing wrong, Jake says, unwrapping his sandwich. Marcus grins. Because we're not doing anything wrong, we're being respectful. I heard the QA team is catching on, Tom says. Mike told me he stopped volunteering opinions in stand-ups. Just waits to be called on now. It's spreading, Devon says, looking pleased. Andrew pulls up metrics on his phone. Product decisions are down 70%. Like, we're just not making decisions anymore. Beautiful, Jake mutters. I notice other tables of guys, heads together, talking quietly. One of them glances our way, nods slightly. The word is definitely getting around. How long do we keep this up? Marcus asks. Until something breaks, I say. Policy is policy. 2 days later, something breaks. Signal explodes immediately. Jake? She's mad. Tom? Sales meeting was 90 minutes today. Nothing decided. I said maybe 12 words total. Andrew? Product roadmap is officially a disaster. Jenny and Rachel argued for an hour about priorities. Me? Stay the course. Boys? Policy is policy. Week 3. Big day. We've got a client presentation. TechFlow Industries, potential $2 million annual contract. They're here to see a demo of our enterprise software platform. Our presenting team? Rachel. She inserted herself as culture representative. Jen, Sarah, and the 3 of us who actually built the entire system, morning signal chat. Marcus. Big day, boys. Remember the rules. Jake. I'm wearing my best I have nothing to say face. Me. They're going to ask technical questions. Devon. 1 sentence answers maximum. The presentation starts fine. Jen's doing slides. Product looks good. Clients are nodding. 20 minutes in, their CTO asks, how does the data sync handle conflicts? Everyone looks at me. I built this entire system. It uses last right wins with vector clocks. I stop talking. Look at Rachel. Count to 10 in my head while maintaining eye contact with the client. Long silence. Client CTO. Can you elaborate on the implementation? Sure. Vector clocks timestamp each write. The system compares timestamps most recent write wins. Stop talking. I glance at my watch. What about data loss scenarios? We log all conflicts. Users can review them. Stop talking. Another awkward silence. The client team is exchanging glances. Rachel jumps in. What Alex means is that we've built a really robust system that prioritizes user agency and... Client CTO interrupts. I'm sorry, but I'd like to hear from the engineer who built it. Of course. Alex, go ahead. I've explained the core functionality. Happy to answer specific technical questions. Stop talking. Then it gets worse. Sarah starts explaining UX decisions. Jen interrupts to add marketing perspective. Rachel interrupts both to talk about company culture and our commitment to diversity. They're literally talking over each other. Me, Jake, and Marcus sit there in silence, hands folded, watching like spectators at a tennis match. The client CEO, a woman, ironically, holds up her hand. Excuse me? Can we get back to the technical capabilities? Absolutely, Rachel says. Jake, you want to speak to the back-end architecture? Jake. Alex covered the main points. I think Sarah's design work is really worth highlighting, though. He stops talking and literally gestures to Sarah like a game show host Sarah. Oh, I was actually hoping to hear more about security features. Jen, the security is top tier. Rachel. We've invested heavily in making sure. The client CTO holds up his hand. Stop. Can one of the engineers walk me through the security implementation start to finish? Marcus. We use OAuth 2.0, AES 256 encryption, and role-based access control. Stops talking. And the key management? Industry standard practices. Stops talking. Which are? Marcus looks at Rachel. I want to make sure I'm not dominating this conversation, Rachel. Did you want to add anything? The client CTO's jaw actually drops. He looks at his CEO, then back at us. Client CEO, the woman. I'm sorry, are you unable to answer direct technical questions? Marcus. I'm able. I'm just being mindful of not dominating the conversation. He looks genuinely helpful saying this. One of the junior clients whispers to another, what is happening right now? Rachel tries to recover. Our team is very collaborative. We like to ensure all voices. Client CTO. Ma'am, I don't need voices. I need technical specifications. Can someone just tell me how the security works without this? Whatever this is? Jake and I exchange the briefest glance. We say nothing. The silence stretches. 10 seconds. 15. Sarah shifts uncomfortably. Jen opens her mouth, closes it. The client CTO closes his laptop. That's when we know it's over. Rachel's face goes red. Marcus, just answer the question. We rotate keys every 90 days and use hardware security modules for storage. He stops talking immediately. The client CEO stands up. I think we've seen enough. We'll be in touch. They leave 30 minutes early. We just lost a $2 million deal. 1 hour later, emergency meeting conference room with Rachel, her boss Tom Sr., VP of Operations, me, Jake, Marcus, plus Jen and Sarah. Tom Sr. What the hell happened in there? Rachel. The clients were asking very specific questions. And our engineers barely said 10 words. You three, he points at us. You know this product inside and out. Why didn't you explain it? Jake pulls out a manila folder. Beautiful moment. Inside, printed copies of Rachel's policy email, the training slides, our signed acknowledgement forms. We followed the respectful communication policy C here. He points to a slide. It says, ask yourself, does this need to be said by me? We were being thoughtful about not dominating. Tom Sr. reads the policy. His face goes through several emotions. Rachel, is this real? You told the engineers to step back? No. I mean, yes, but not like this. This is malicious compliance. Marcus, sir, I have email records showing that when Rachel asked us to participate more, we confirmed we were happy to answer specific questions. Which we did. The client asked questions, we answered them. I add, we didn't interrupt anyone, we made space for our colleagues to contribute. Tom Sr. looks at me. Alex, you built 60% of that platform. You gave 3-sentence answers to complex technical questions. I didn't want to mansplain. The client is capable of asking follow-up questions if they need more information. Jake coughs to cover a laugh. Tom Sr. to Rachel. My office now. Under the table, my phone buzzes. Devon. How did it go? Marcus. Jake brought printed evidence. Next morning, Rachel sends a company-wide email. Subject: clarification on communication policy team. It has come to my attention that some employees may have misunderstood the intent of our respectful communication policy. The goal is not for male employees to disengage from meetings, but rather to be mindful of making space for all voices. Men should absolutely continue sharing technical expertise and participating in discussions moving forward. I expect full participation from all team members while maintaining respectful communication standards. Best, Rachel. Signal, immediately, Jake. Ha 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 ha, me. Some employees may have misunderstood. We understood perfectly. Marcus. So, keep doing exactly what we're doing. I send my own email, CC'd to my team. Hi Rachel, thanks for the clarification. I want to ensure I'm in full compliance. Could you please specify 1. What constitutes full participation versus dominating the conversation? 2. How many sentences should male employees limit responses to? 3. Should we continue the 5-second waiting period mentioned in training? I want to make sure I'm respecting all colleagues' space while contributing appropriately. Thanks, Alex. Her response. Alex, just use common sense and participate normally in meetings. My reply, understood. To confirm, continue following the guidelines from the original policy training. I have my signed acknowledgement form for reference. She stops responding. Week 4, we take it further. Jake proposes to management that the infrastructure upgrade should be back-end team only. All men, Marcus gets approval for front-end redesign with current front-end team. Him plus 2 other guys. I volunteer for overnight database migration to avoid coordination issues. Our email, rationale, To ensure respectful communication and avoid policy violations, the engineers most familiar with this system should handle it independently. This prevents situations where we might inadvertently interrupt or overshadow colleagues. Women start complaining. Sarah tells Rachel the guys aren't including her in technical planning. Jen says in a meeting that men have formed separate teams. Company metrics are tanking. 3 client projects behind schedule. 2 missed deadlines. Q3 roadmap still not finalized in week 4. Customer complaints up 40% Thursday afternoon. Rachel calls me into her office. Alex, I need to talk to you about your communication style lately. I sit down, hands folded, pleasant expression. You've been very minimal in meetings, and you're only working with male engineers. I'm following the communication policy, and I'm working with engineers who have relevant technical expertise. But you're excluding women. I'm not excluding anyone. I'm being thoughtful about not dominating conversations or making women feel overshadowed. The policy says to ask, does this need to be said by me? For complex technical work, the answer is yes, so I'm documenting it in writing to avoid interrupting anyone. That's not, you're twisting the intent. Rachel, I don't want an HR complaint. The safest way to comply is to limit verbal communication and work independently when possible. I have the signed acknowledgement form. If you'd like me to communicate differently, I'd need that in writing. Her face flushes. This is exactly the kind of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue. I gesture for her to speak. She stares at me. Get out. Thank you for your time. Signal. She's furious. Thursday evening, I'm packing up when I overhear 2 women from design talking by the elevators. Honestly kind of miss when the engineers just told us what was technically possible, one says. Now it's like pulling teeth. I asked Alex a question yesterday, and he gave me a 1-word answer. 1 word. Did you try being more specific? I was specific. I asked about database load, and he said, manageable, and then just stared at me. They leave, still talking. I text the group. Even the women who aren't Rachel are noticing. Marcus. Good. Let them complain to her. That night, company Slack is unusually active. I don't participate, but I watch. Multiple threads about delayed projects, communication breakdowns, missed timelines. Rachel's name comes up a lot. Someone from sales posts, can we just go back to normal meetings? 3 people react with thumbs up. Then the message gets deleted. The tension is building Friday. All hands about Q3 planning. Tom Sr. running it. No, engineering team. What's the status on the mobile app? Me. It's progressing. Alex, I need details. Backend is functional front-end team can share their timeline. Jake, infrastructure? On track. On track for when? Whenever the specs are finalized. He looks pointedly at Rachel and Jen. Tom Sr. slams his hand on the table. Enough! Everyone start talking like adults again, or I'm pulling the whole leadership team into a reset meeting. Monday morning, week 5. Email from corporate HR. Not Rachel, the actual corporate office. 2. All employees. An anonymous complaint has been filed regarding potential hostile work environment and gender-based discrimination. The respectful communication policy implemented by site HR is suspended pending review. Signal erupts. Jake. Andrew. I may have forwarded some email chains to corporate Devon, legend corporate HR interviews. Each of us I slide across my folder. The policy, my signed acknowledgement, Rachel's emails, my requests for clarification, metrics showing project delays. And you felt you couldn't speak normally? I didn't want an HR complaint. The policy was clear. I followed it exactly. When I asked for clarification, I didn't get clear guidance. Did you feel discriminated against based on gender? The policy explicitly targeted male employees. It created a situation where I couldn't do my job effectively without risking HR violation. Wednesday, the verdict comes. The investigation is concluded. The respectful communication policy has been permanently discontinued. Site HR manager Rachel has been placed on a performance improvement plan for implementing discriminatory workplace policies without proper legal review. Effective immediately, all employees are expected to participate fully in meetings without gender-based restrictions. Signal. Marcus. Performance improvement plan. Jake. We actually won. Me. Gentlemen, it's been an honor. That afternoon, sprint planning. Tom Sr. running it. Alex, database architecture. I give an actual detailed explanation. 5 minutes, covering everything. Thank you. Jake, infrastructure timeline. Real answer with specifics and dates. Meeting ends in 30 minutes. Decisions made. Everyone's talking normally. Friday. Break room. I'm behind the vending machine when Rachel walks in with Lisa from accounting. Rachel. I still don't understand what I did wrong. I was trying to create a more inclusive environment, and the men just weaponized the policy against me. Lisa. Honestly, Rachel, the meetings were kind of a nightmare. Nobody could get anything done. I think things are better now that people can just talk. But women weren't being heard before. Were we, though? I've been here 5 years and never had a problem speaking up. The policy felt unnecessary. Silence. Lisa leaves. Rachel stands there, then leaves without getting coffee. I wait 10 seconds. Pour my coffee, head back to my desk. Signal. Final message. Me. Just overheard Rachel in break room. Still doesn't get it. Jake. Some people never learn. Marcus. Not our problem anymore. 2 months later, Rachel's gone. Decided to pursue other opportunities. New HR manager mostly processes paperwork and stays out of everyone's way. Company metrics back to normal, Q4 targets hit. And every time someone asks me a question now, I give full, detailed answers like a normal person. Turns out, when you let people communicate naturally without weird gender rules, things actually work. W.